Bonjour et bonne vie, je suis Squeezilla. News regarding the Cruzier Lyon. Hello all, how's it going? Squeezilla here, and I apologise to any French speakers, native listeners, anyone French for my terrible use of accent there. And welcome to a look at the Lyon. Now, this is a sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like a prototype history of video, because, well, this ship didn't exist. No, it didn't exist at all, really. The Lyon, I don't think they've even started building work on it at the end. I don't think they even started making it. However, they did start on its previous model, which was the Normandie Class. The Normandie Class, I think, there were about 5 ships in the class being built prior to the outbreak of the First World War, and only one got completed and was turned into an aircraft carrier. The actual namesake, the Normandie, was about 70% complete at the time of basically giving up and scrapping it. So why did they make a new class of battleship when they sort of already had one that wasn't built? Why did they start construction on another one already? Well, the reason for this was because, well, the Normandy class was a little bit undergunned. Now, when you say undergunned, you sort of think, okay, well, how much? Well, it had 9 340-inch guns. 340, I think it was. So I've got to actually just double check now because my brain's just gone dead. Yeah, 340-inch guns. So 9 340-inch guns, which is a bloody lot of guns and relatively high caliber. However, around this time, the British were building a new class of battleship, the Queen Elizabeth class, which had 8, sorry, brain went dead there, 8 180mm guns on board, which was a lot of big guns. And the French decided, well, we need something with big guns as well, because we need to compete with the British, just in case, you know, got to be there just in case. So they decided to go with the Lyon class, which was basically the Normandy, but with many more guns. So you end up with 16 guns on this ship, 16 340mm guns on board. And as you can see, they're all lined up midship, so you can't really get a firing off the front. Frontally, you can only get 4 guns off. Midship, you can only sort of get, rear ship of the ship, you can only get 8 guns off, which is still a bloody lot of guns. But broadside, 16 guns firing, which is an awful lot of guns. And look, 340mm shells are still bloody big shells that do a lot of damage. And if you got a full broadside of that, you would know about it in any ship. So basically not a good thing to have hitting you. And that was really the cause of the Lyon class coming into existence. However, as I said, none of these really got built. And the reason for that was because, well, World War I was a thing. And what happened was World War I broke out. One of the ships, I think, actually got captured. That was a waste of rounds. One of the actual ships got sort of captured mid-process, and that's going to be a torpedo to me. I'd love to have dodged that, but I just couldn't. Where the hell is the rest of my team, by the way? Like, why is that destroyer sitting so far back, you know? Oh, God, I hate people so much. Anyway, yeah, the Lyon class was a sort of failed design and just didn't become anything, really. However, if it had, it would have been one heck of a boat. As I said, it was a very powerful ship with a lot of guns on board. And as I said, these 340mm guns were enough to cause a lot of damage to anything that they got close to. And had they become a thing, it would have really helped the French in the naval warfare things. However, France was stuck in this weird place in World War I. They had a bit of a fleet. They had a decent fleet, semi-decent fleet, so to say, but they didn't really have much in the way of battleships and heavy battleships and things like that. So they really couldn't compete with like Germany, the Austro-German Empire, that sort of thing. You know, like, no, they were a bit undergunned, and it didn't help much. And you know, they were coming out of recession and all this kind of crap. You know, poor France was not in a good place, and then, you know, Germany decides to invade them. And it'd only been I think it was, I'm trying to think now, I think it was like 50 odd years, 60 years since, Germany last tried to invade them. So, they'd had problems, but then again, Germany and France didn't get along too well. Because France tried to invade them as well. So, there was no love lost between the two. It's kind of like the British and the French. They weren't really great fans of each other. But, war had been going on for a while in Europe, and it was causing problems. So, the French were kind of stuck. Now, the Lyon class as well was going to have some serious armament for its secondary section as well. 24 130mm guns, sorry, 138mm guns. So a lot of guns on board this thing, and it was going to be a big, big boat, and it was going to be a very big, heavy ship. But the thing about that was it's going to be a very strong ship as well. Armour-wise, this thing was going to be a absolute powerhouse. When I actually get my thing down, with a 300mm belt and up to 70mm deck armour. Which is again a lot. And it was going to, be very useful in that respect, because it would have been quite a bruiser of a ship. It was just, it was just one of those things of, it didn't come to pass because it was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you can say that a lot about France. It had this great ability of just doing the wrong thing at the very wrong time, and really messing up. And all our secondaries are going to start launching. We've already lost a boat, but luckily it's not one of our main ones. Although we're going to lose it soon because, well, everybody's decided to F off and leave this Missouri on its own, which is always a good idea. Yay for teammates. Got a Gneiser now, actually just helping out somewhere, but that's about it really. Good job, Gneiser now. Thank you for helping. There we go. At least we took it out at last. So yeah, the Lyon, it was a ship that didn't exist, and if it had, it may have really helped out the French. It may have been a ship that changed their situation in wars and things like that, but it wasn't, and it was never being one. So yeah, the Lyon is a ship that doesn't exist. So yeah, that's really it. This is what I wanted to do today, just have a little talk about ships that didn't really exist. And one of the cool things, I guess, about video games nowadays, and look, I'm speaking broadly, I'm not just talking about World of Warships here, although I've been playing it a lot on the channel, I know, because, well, at the moment, I still can't go back to the other game, that game that shall not be named, but the big thing about these sort of games is they let you actually have these vehicles come to life, and it is so great to see. It's so cool being able to see what would be, what could have been. The Lyon and the Normandy, just very cool classes of ships, very different, that sort of early dreadnought thinking, but very compact boats. They weren't very long, to battleship standards. If you look at the Yorick over there, you can see it's quite a long cruiser, but it's about the same sort of length as the Lyon/Normandy. One of the shorter ships in length, really. Again, battleships are not really small, so when you do say it was a small battleship or sort of a short battleship, you sort of go, well, yeah, okay, that's a ridiculous size ship still, but it was quite a compact ship, and that was kind of would have been a really big benefit to it, I think, had it actually gone and seen battle, because the thing about having quite a small ship means you're quite a small target, and that's a good thing when you're fighting in a ship, because the bigger the target you are, the easier you are to kill. So having a slightly smaller sized ship does make a big advantage in that, and especially in length and width. So you can say girth, things like that, but it's one of those things that, had the French actually managed to get these vehicles built, it would have really made a big difference for their war effort, and it would have really hindered the Germans, because they had some fantastic battleships at the time, but they would have really struggled coming up against these sort of the French battleships at the time, had they been a thing, so to say. And it's one of those things you have to go, well, what if scenarios? And it is a big what if scenario, of course. Take the torpedo here. I'm going to take 2. Yep, going to take 2. We cannot turn. We'll try not to take 3. Really wish I had some you know, cruiser support or something like that up here, but obviously they're all dead, so you know that's always useful. And there's a Farragut to the right of me, to the left of me even. Left is left. Fire on the baton there. Lots and lots of guns firing. Again, as you can see, it's just the amount of firepower you can lay down on this thing is fantastic. The French sort of quadruple turret idea was a very cool idea. Again, a very unique sort of, I hate that word, very unique, but a unique sort of gun styling. A bit different to everybody else, and just, you know, had it been a sort of turret system they'd used, it could have been a really interesting sort of, I'm hoping he launches the torpedoes behind the enemy battleship there, so I don't take more torpedoes, because I'd just like not to take some torpedoes right now. The Indianapolis there, which isn't going to last long because it's an Indianapolis, thus it's made of citadels. And now we've got a Queen Elizabeth, Colorado, and a Shaw's. Okay, so I'm going to try and turn around here. Now, this is one of the ships that this was designed to go up against, the Queen Elizabeth class. And as you can see, the Queen Elizabeth class is a very bulky, again, it's a very sort of, it's not the longest of battleships. Again, that sort of battleship design of the time, the dreadnought style battleships were very short in their designs. Come on, guns, turn. We're a spot of bother right now. As you can see. Yeah, we're trying to put those fires out, because we're a bit on fire right now. And we'll get a repair going. We kind of need it right now, because we're a little bit dead. Come on. Survive, damn you. You could do it, Lyon. You could survive. Alright, we've got a Colorado on full health there. That's a bit of a bad news situation, and we're kind of broadside on at the moment. And his guns are kind of pointing at us, so we're a little bit screwed as things go. Got lucky there. Now, really nice if we could kill this before we die, but I don't think we will somehow. No, we kind of died there. But yeah, that is the Lyon. A little bit of gameplay, a little bit of information about it, really. It is a very good ship in World of Warships. It is fantastic. As you can see, this thing is an absolute beast when you get in there and brawl. The guns are not the most accurate thing in the world. I finally managed to kill that bloody Lexington. The guns are not the most accurate things in the world. You do have to be a bit sort of... It is a bit tricky sometimes to get them on target at real long range, but when you get up close, this thing is a monster of a thing. And there we go. We've actually got the win there. So yeah, we'll just head back to the docks. I was going to say base there, but our base works as well. So yes, the Lyon is just it's a really fun ship to play, and it's just a bit different to every other battleship I find, because it has just got those sheer ludicrous amount of guns on board. So ended up with 187,000 damage there, which is not bad. I'll take that. and we finished quite low on the team score, because I always finish low on the team score on this map. But not bad. As you can see, this thing does deal out a lot of pain when it can actually, you know, get on target and not die. So we'll head back to the port now and just have a quick look at it in the beautiful dry dock situation here. So as you can see, armor wise, you know, relatively good protection of armor belt. If you look as well, it's got very sort of decent citadel armor as well. However, from the front it is quite vulnerable, because it is quite sort of thin citadel armor at the front. So you really want to go sort of side angling with this thing, because that really works quite well. As I said, the main guns are fantastic. They are an absolute monster of gun set for you, and they really can help you out when you're in a sort of close brawling situation. I'm currently working on my captain for it at the moment. So far I've just got target acquisition and last stand. However, I just got my new abilities to go, which I'm probably going to go because this ship has got some fairly good secondaries. The secondaries have got a 5 kilometer range. They're not the best in the world, but they are relatively okay. So secondaries can be an option. There is also the superintendent to get one more heal. In all honesty, it's not worth it. There are better things to get. A demolition expert, you're not going to be using that much HE. So basic survivability is probably the better idea, so you can get the fire extinguisher down and things like that. And that's what I'm going to be going for. And when we get some more research points and things like that, I'm probably going to be looking at the what am I thinking of? The fire prevention sort of skill. That's probably going to be the thing I'm going to go for, just to really reduce fires in it, because for secondaries it's not really, you don't really get close enough to really do much brawling, things like that, so it's quite useful to have those. And then of course adrenaline rush when you can get it, because that's going to be absolutely perfect for this ship, because you do kind of want to get in there and brawl a little bit. Now when you get up tiered it can be a little bit painful, but when you're the sort of top dog you can really cause some pain. Alright, we'll just open a quick container while we're here, because we got one. Collect container, signal flags. Or should we go? We'll try our luck today. What will we get? Oh, we got a super container. Oh my lord. My lordy. Okay. Well, that's kind of crazy for me to actually get something to open. So let's see what we get. It's probably going to be something terrible. And it's no, it's not terrible. It's dragon flags, 25 of them. 333 commander experience. Yeah, not terrible. I mean, not great, but it's, it's better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, the Lyon, interesting ship. As I say, the if we just go to the tech tree quickly, as you can see, the Normandy as well. The Normandie Class. If you look at it, you can see basically the same sort of ship layout. They just got rid of this section here, but a large bolty bit on there and an extra turret on board. And then if you go up to the Breton, you can sort of see again the sort of, this is that early dreadnought design, and you can sort of see where they're coming from with their ships. The French like to have a lot of firepower, it seems, so they tend to have quite a few turrets on board, but it is a big step up from that. Of course, they couldn't complete the two ships, they couldn't complete the two classes, the Normandy or the Lyon, so the Breton got a bit of an upgrade, and so yeah, they sort of got a little bit of work done to them, but not a huge amount, and they sort of, weren't terrible battleships, but weren't the greatest, and yeah, it would have been interesting to see these sort of ships come into the world. But as I said, the only one that really got completed was the Baron, which was the French aircraft carrier used up until the mid to late 60s, almost early 70s, I think it was. So yeah, interesting ships nonetheless. Nonetheless even. Okay, well I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you have, leave a like and comment and all that usual stuff, and click the bell and subscribe and give me money. And I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Au revoir.